Hi and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a first look at Pigments 4, and I got this in Arturia's kind of special offer which ended on the 4th of January. So if you didn't get it, it is now over by the time this video comes out. And I got this Pigments 4 with the 3 wavelengths sound banks for €69, which ended up being £63. So this is just a quick overview of what's kind of new in Pigments 4, and at the end I'll just play a few presets. This is not going to be some sort of deep dive. I found an article by MUSICTECH, and I'll leave a link in the description. So I'm just going to kind of read a kind of edited version of that article, and because it is quite a good summary of what is actually new. And I have never used Pigments before, apart from the odd kind of preset within Analog Lab Intro. I've never really used it. I have wanted to use it, and now that I have used it, I wish I'd started using it earlier, because it is a very, very good introduction to how kind of synthesis works. You know, it has, you know, various engines as wavetables, analog, harmonics, samples, you know, lots of filters and effects, and visually it is very easy to understand. I mean, it looks very intimidating when you first open it because of all the modulation slots along here, but really once you actually kind of get your head around it, you know, it is quite straightforward and particularly well designed, I think. And this kind of is, you know, Arturia's flagship synthesizer, because it is the only one that's not an emulation of an analog synth, you know, as opposed to the V collection, you know, like emulations of famous 70s and 80s synthesizers. I'm just going to kind of read through this and just give you a brief description of what is new. So Arturia's description of Pigments as a polychrome synthesizer is in reference to the instrument's hugely variable sound palette. This starts with Pigments 4 pair of flexible sound engines. So there is engine 1 and engine 2, and as you can see, each of which can load any one of 4 different modes. We've got analog, wavetable, sample and harmonic, and this is the default sample, which comes up with just basically the engine 1 switched on and a basic waveform, which sounds like this. So that is the default sample. Each of the 4 models encompasses a different approach to generating sound tones for the synth. There's also a third utility engine over here, and that provides a pair of noise generators and a sub-oscillator. So if I click on that, it has a noise 1, 2 and an oscillator there. So this arrangement has not changed since Pigments 3, but Arturia has made some important enhancements. So Pigments 4 retains the same overall appearance of previous versions, which is this very dark looking theme. There's now a choice of 2 themes, the original dark theme and the new light theme. Go up here and you go to theme, and it's on classic dark. So if we change to light, it does take about 10-15 seconds to change over. Eventually it will change over to light theme. Right, there we go, and then it is the light theme. And when you change over, it is just very, very bright. I don't know if people were asking for this, but it is very, very bright, and I don't really find the dark theme particularly difficult. Yeah, so I'm not really quite sure what was wrong with the dark theme, because obviously most people use dark mode on their phones now as well anyway. So there's also the new play view, which is quite cool. So it is like a really simplified version of what's going on. So you've got your 2 engines, you've got your noise generators, you've got your filters, the 2 filters and the effects, and the A and B effects, and then that is the modulations, and you've got a keyboard and just the main amplitude VCA control there, and the macros. So that is quite cool. If you're just going through the presets, it's quite good just to stick onto play mode, because it's not quite as distracting as full synth mode. So Pigments 4 workflow has been streamlined too, with easier modulation assignment and adjustment, new LFO presets, new sync modes, and the ability to quickly bypass the effects and sequencer sections. So you obviously couldn't bypass the effects and sequencer easily like this. So so that is your effects. You've got effects A, effects B, and then an auxiliary send, and then you've got a sequencer which has an ARP and a sequencer as well. So that is switched on, and it has 16 steps, so you can adjust the steps like so. The enhancements aren't purely cosmetic though. The wavetable, sample and harmonic models have been given useful additions that provide each with even more scope for creating exciting new tones. So ring modulation and pulse width phase transformations within the wavetable engine, a phase modulation option within the harmonic engine, and new cross modulation options and enhanced unison options across all the engines. So Pigment's filter stage remains as flexible as ever and now includes a model based on the Korg MS-20. So if I go up to filter, you can see it has what is that, 811 filters, and it now has the MS-20, which is obviously based on the new standalone filter that Arturia brought out. So you also get an SEM, Matrix 12, a Jupiter 8, Mini, a Surgeon, a Comb, a low pass gate, a formant, and a phaser, and it defaults to multi-mode. 2 new effects processors. So we go to effects, and we go up in here. You'll see there is now shimmer, which combines pitch shifting and modulation with a big spacious reverb, and super unison, wherever super unison, and super unison. So that provides a different approach to chorus-like effects. That's quite a lot. I mean, like I said, there is quite a lot in Pigments 4 that is new. So alongside these enhancements, there's a lot of new content for the instrument as well. So you get 63 new wavetables, 67 new samples, 36 new noise types that include natural and industrial sounds, and this content is used in the new collection of factory presets, with those from Pigments 2, 3, 3.5 included as well, and in 3 additional sound banks. So you get the Wavelengths Lo-Fi, the Wavelengths Neurobass, and Wavelengths Cinematic. So if I go to my sound banks, you can see I have got these free as part of this deal with being a new user. So if you were an existing user, the update to 4 was free, but as far as I know, you had to pay extra to get these. And each sound bank has 150 presets, and that is designed to push Pigments' capabilities. So overall now, Pigments 4 comes packed with nearly 2,000 presets, which is a freaking lot of presets. And there are different ways to access the presets. So you can, like I said, you can access it just by clicking in this header, and then you can see there is quite a few basses. You've got brass and winds, you've got drums, electric piano, which there isn't much of. There's keys, leads, organ, pads, which there are, I think, nearly 300. There's pianos, which there's like 8. There's sequences, which there's tons. Sound effects, strings, there's quite a few templates, and there's a few vocals. So, so the key features of Pigments 4 is that it is available as an AAX, an AU, VST, and standalone app, which is what I'm using for this video. So it is a free upgrade for owners of previous versions. It is a multiple sound generation engines. There's 2 filters with multiple filter modes to choose from. Advanced modulation with easy drag and drop routing. The professional effects section with advanced routing. Original dark and new light visual themes. A new bank of factory presets plus 3 wavelength sound banks. It is MPE compatible and NKS controller compatible, and it retails for €199. So you've got velocity, aftertouch, the mod wheel, keyboard, expression. You've got 3 envelopes. So you've got the main, if you've got the envelopes, you've got the main VCA, you've got envelope 2, envelope 3, then you've got 3 LFOs. So we can go to the LFOs, and you can see you get this really nice animation of what's happening with the LFOs. So you get 3 of them. You get 3 functions, sorry. You get 3 random, 3 combinates, and then you get the 4 macros at the end, which are these controls. So anyway, so that is just a quick first look at Pigments 4. Let's go to types and go to pads, and then we'll just go to atmosphere, and you can see I have quite a few. So I'm just going to have a look at some of these. So I'm just going to turn up the volume a bit. It is quite quiet, this. So this is Above Sheer Beauty. And then I'll go into play mode so you can kind of see it's amazing. Let's start off with Metropolis, in fact. Yeah, I'm going to start off with Metropolis. Right, so this is an evolving pad. Hang on, this is an evolving pad by Konstantin Clem. And I'll stick in play mode so you can just kind of get a quick overview of what this is doing. And the mod wheel is adjusting oscillator 1 and 2. So there's about 300 pads from what I can remember. So we've got Near Death. That's just Near Death Experience. So let's just see what this one's like. So this is 2 wavetables. And you can see the cutoffs are, the filter cutoffs are on modulation. That's the mod wheel. The pitch bend. We've got a Retrograde, which is another evolving pad by Venus Theory. I do like Venus Theory's videos, and obviously everybody likes his voice. So this is Retrograde, and it's using 2 wavetables. The mod wheel is adjusting the cutoff. And last but not least is Tranquility, a classic synth pad by Sami Rabi. Right, and this is a wavetable and a sample, and you can see there is rather a lot going on in the modulation. So you've got 2 LFOs, 2 envelopes, and function. And again, the mod wheels adjusting the cutoff on filter 1. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and as usual, if you are enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.